And instead, we're banning comedians from being on TV. And then you put out garbage like that. I would hope that Americans would see beyond this. And it is encouraging to me, Chris, some of the clips you played of the conservative comedians and some of the conservative voices like Karl Rove, they get it, that this is North Korea style stuff. It has no place in America. And people need to make sure that if he gets away with this, man, Katie, bar the door. It's all open. Every one of those rights is then at risk.
What you think of the statue? I mean, do you think that she's attractive or not? Take another look at it. Hospitals get any more overcrowded, they're going to have to make some very tough choices about who gets an ICU bed. That choice doesn't seem so tough to me. Vaccinated person having a heart attack? Yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo? Rest in peace, Wheezy. Hospital has been suspended from Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and even Snapchat. Not only did Trump get banned from Twitter, Google, Apple, and Amazon removed the Parler app from their platforms. Parler is where all the right-wingers gather to post QAnon nonsense and misspell the word parlor. And no one was more upset about Parler going away than a sneaky little congressman named Devin.
But it's more than just the financial aspect of that. Republicans have no way to communicate. I have 3 million followers on Parler. Tonight, I will no longer be able to communicate with those people.
But don't worry, Mr. President. There are still plenty of apps you do have access to. You still have Spotify to drown out the sound of millions of people cheering as you leave. You still have Pet Finder since you're on the outs with Mike Pence. You can still play Among Us, a game where everyone accuses each other of being against them. You'd love it. You could play Pokemon Go. You and Donnie Jr. can hunt Pikachus together. And when no one else wants you, don't forget, there's always your old friend, the Domino's Pizza Tracker.
Our founders drafted the First Amendment specifically to protect the rights of citizens to criticize the government. And you cross that kind of societal norm, you must pay the consequence. And firing her was the right thing to do. I'm thrilled that ABC did it.
We were spot on, Trace, and Jimmy Kimmel's return is good news for small businesses all across this nation, as I think the liberals were prepared with their pitchforks to start rioting and looting some of these downtown major cities if we saw this vacation for Jimmy Kimmel continue any longer. I was actually rooting for ABC here. I thought that this was going to be finally their clean opportunity to wash their hands free of Jimmy Kimmel, who has been wasting them millions of dollars for the last decade.
This is great for, what would you rather be canceled for? Sucking at your job, or the mean president took your job away? So for them, he's getting to come back. So you got to take the president out of it now, because now he's back. So there should be a huge rating spike. Everyone should be excited. And Jesse, you're wrong. You typically finishes third. Then it's Colbert. And then
I wasn't counting Greg.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
no, I'm talking networks. Networks, right.
Okay.
He's beating them.
To be fair.
He's not even on the network.
I just want to say, to be fair.
Thanks to you.
Yeah. Anchor, if there ever was one. But it's not about me right now. But the point is, like, of course he's not going to change because he doesn't have a reason to change. His whole thing was the best thing for him was to stay gone, because he would have been able to say for the rest of his days that the evil Trump MAGA got me. And then all his pundits would come out and say, free speech is being taken away. And now, like, nope, here's your ball back. You got a slap on the wrist. Act right. So then the next time he gets canceled, and it probably will be before January, it's going to be about the ratings. And you won't be able to blame the president. I'm glad this happened. You won't be able to blame the FCC. You'll be able to blame Jimmy Kimmel for not being funny.
Good evening, I'm back. I'm your host, Jack Remington, of the Jack Remington Political Analyst Channel. You heard some of the clips I just played. Jimmy Kimmel's coming back tonight. I won't be watching it, but I'll watch the replay. I'll look at it in a couple of days and see what he said. I'm willing to bet my life that he will not say anything bad about Charlie Kirk. I played the best video for last with Tyrus, and he said it the best, okay? Jimmy Kimmel's going to be on a short leash, and he may already know it, okay? If they're going to bring him back, whether it's a fear out of the shooter at the ABC affiliate in Sacramento, who was a retired California lobbyist of all things, and he had like a 28-some year career, wherever it was. When he first joined all those years ago, he was Republican. When the winds have changed and they just bulldozed the state in a one-party state, he had to switch his party to stay in power himself and curry favor and monkey see, monkey do. And Democrats are really known for that. Insert one thing here, and I'll get back right on the topic, but I keep saying on my other videos that when young people get out of political science degrees, or they graduate from school, they get a bachelor of science degree, a lot of them want to go into politics. It's 8-to-1 in ratio for Democrat sign-ups versus the Republicans. And that's throughout the country. Why is that? Because their voters will they vote blue no matter who. They don't care about the facts. It's all feeling and identity politics mostly. The Latino people, and they are one-issue voters, I want my relatives to come over here and not be deported. It's hard to go against your family, and my wife and I have had many discussions about this, and she understands it better than I do. How do you vote against your family? Okay? But where I come in is try to come in legally. Well, the line is too long. I've heard 1,000 excuses. I've interviewed a lot of people, and 3/4 of my family's Hispanic. And a couple of them, I'm sure they wish me dead. And that's fine. That's a different video for a different day. But back to this Jimmy Kimmel thing. I'm glad that he's back. And I know what you're going to think, and you're thinking I'm selling out. I'm not selling out. Because the left and the liberals are going to use this Jimmy Kimmel thing. All of a sudden, when it's Jimmy Kimmel, it's a violation of free speech, and they're blaming Donald Trump. He did not make not one phone call to the FCC chairman or anybody at Federal Trade Commission. He didn't do any of that. He didn't call the guys, the Sinclair and the Netstar affiliates. When I started filming, it was 62, and I just got a couple feeds in. Now it's 70 channels are not going to show Jimmy Kimmel. Well, that's not on Donald Trump. He has no control over that. You cannot make them show Jimmy Kimmel. See, that's going to be the next argument in a couple days. You watch. You heard it here first. But Jimmy Kimmel, I'm glad he's back because he's a hack. He's not funny. Let me approach it this way. When I started, when I was a small boy, Steve Allen was the very first host of The Tonight Show. And that was the only one that was on that 11:30 time slot. But he only lasted a year or two. I don't remember what it was. I was a small boy. There was Jack Parr for a few years. And Jack Parr, the jury's still out on him. My mother kind of liked him. But when they got Johnny Carson, he was a 36-year-old Nebraskan weatherman or something, and he beat out like 16 people to get the job. And he was the only one that was not from New York City. He was from Nebraska, and they didn't know it. Or else I don't think he'd have got the job. But I love Johnny Carson. I thought he was great. And yes, he did tell the occasional political jokes. He was Earl Butts, the guy who made fun of the Pope under the Nixon administration. Nixon had to fire him. Under Jimmy Carter, under everybody else, he made fun of them too. He gave it to both sides equally. He did not have a bias. And as far as I know, Johnny Carson never voted. Johnny Carson wasn't even a registered voter for anybody, from what I know. I met Ed McMahon a couple times years ago in movie sets when I was doing extra work and trying to do actor work when I first came to California. And Ed McMahon was pretty nice, and I'm not sure what he was either because they never discussed it. It was not their cause célèbre. It was not their purpose. They were there to entertain and tell jokes, and they were funny and they were good. Okay, so I'm going to close this video out by saying that I'm glad Jimmy Kimmel's back, and I agree with Tyrus 100%. That's why I saved this video for last. I'm going to put the over/under. Let's say Tyrus is saying January. Let's give it a date. I'll say by January 20th, Jimmy Kimmel will be gone again, and it's because of the ratings. Remember, this was an ABC decision. Yes, there's freedom of speech, okay, but the freedom of speech tenets for our citizens is to protect us from the government trying to censor us. ABC is not the government. ABC is a private company. I have a couple W-2 jobs. I cannot go to my W-2 jobs and get up on the soapbox and tell my boss and my assistant boss and the other guys who've been here longer than me, hey, No, you're there to work. You're there to perform a job, and you're being paid by that company. You're not being paid to, well, I don't like this one, I don't like that one. And notice I'm not even using any examples because it doesn't matter. You're there to work. You should never discuss politics at work. These late night comedians, they've overdone it. And like I said in the other video, they're watching the polls. And I'm going to sneak this in case I forgot it. The second day after Charlie Kirk's shooting, Chuck Schumer did make an attempt, to his credit. When I don't hate to give him credit for anything. He said, we got to find a way to come together and try to cool the temperature down. He looked at the polls. He's the Senate minority leader. He's got the information first or anyone else gets it. They looked at the polls and they saw, we really did it this time. We're in deep doo-doo, okay? And they're trying to cool the temperature. But at the same time, they're trying to control the narrative. It's about the midterms, folks. It's about the midterms, okay? They had the House in the bag. Okay, the Senate, not so much. Now, I don't think they can get the Senate now. So if Gavin Newsom does come back in 2 years after this, and he wins the presidency in 2028, which he will, he is going to be your next president. Nothing can stop that. Trump can't stop it. J.D. Vance has no chance. Gavin Newsom's got 32 years of political experience, starting with being the assistant mayor of San Francisco many, many years ago when he was in his 20s. Okay. What's J.D. Vance done? He's done nothing, or very little. Okay, he's good, he's great, and he should be the president, but he won't be. Okay. There are people already buying Gavin Newsom hats. I saw it online somewhere. But the Jimmy Kimmel thing, they're bringing them back. They're probably trying to lower the temperature and think, you know what, the leftists, they're going to start rioting and looting again. Trump has nothing to do with any of this, but they're going to blame it on Trump in the midterms. So now they can't blame Trump. They can only blame Jimmy Kimmel. So there'll be some hangers-on and some weirdos out there that don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to know the truth. They will never speak the truth. And they want license, not liberty. They don't want to be held accountable for their actions. I've said enough. I'm glad Jimmy Kimmel's back. I won't be watching him. He'll get a spike for a couple of days, and he may make a record tonight with people that have never watched the show before. But that's going to fade because he has no organic build-up, and he has no organic chemistry with his show. And it's been failing for years. Numbers don't lie. And ABC is a business. Although I'm glad Donald Trump didn't win that lawsuit against him. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. God bless Republicans. God bless everybody, really. We're all Americans. And Donald Trump gave a kick-ass speech at the United Nations Day, and not only was he funny, he let them have it in his own Trumpian way. And I'm glad he did, because he's right about everything he said. So, thank you, and stay tuned for the next video.